It's Wednesday, April the 12th. Lake level, they've got the floodgates shut off, but they're still generating quite a bit of water. Still dropping a couple inches a day, but it's just about down to normal winter pool. It's about 915 and a quarter. But that water stabilizing, and last 4 or 5 days have been really warm. The nights have been warm. It's unreal how all them fish decided just to come in. I mean, there's fish in all three phases of the spawn right now. You can go down the bank and see a lot of fish on beds. I'm actually seeing some bass fry and some of the river arms where the fish have already spawned out, where the water's a little warmer. This morning in the mid-James, it was 62 degrees. I think down lake where the water's real clear, it's probably a little chillier in the morning, but there's fish on beds down there at the dam as well, all over the place. It seemed like it just took, a few warm days and nights, and they're coming in like crazy. And I think there's still a lot of fish out there deeper. So there's so many different ways to catch them. It's really a fun time to go out right now and just catch a ton of fish, because you can get up there pretty shallow, 2 to 10 feet deep, 2 to 12, and probably some of the most consistent ways to catch them is on a Ned rig. You can throw a shaky head, a small jig. They're eating a lot of crawdad style baits right now, and they still are hitting, little swim baits as well. If you're out there a little bit deeper on some of the points, you'll still see some suspended out there. But a lot of the type stuff I'm fishing, it was more points. Now I'm fishing all the way back into pockets, all the way back into creeks. And a lot of times, I'm kind of blind fishing for them bed fish. If I see beds while I'm fishing down a bank, I usually just back off, and it's, especially right now where the water's pretty stable, it's only dropping an inch or two a day. You'll find some of them fish out off of them rock ledges, and a really good way to catch them, this slime is still pretty bad in some areas of the lake, and also the lake is turning over. So if you are trying to fish a bottom bait like a Ned rig or a shaky head, and you're getting all slimed up, pick up a Cinco or a stick. I'm throwing a big bite, a 5-inch stick worm, and you can rig it either wacky or Texas style with no weight, and just cast it out there where them rock ledges are, or up towards the bank, and just work it real slow, just dead stick it, and the fish have been picking it up and just swimming away with it. Another thing that's been working real good, you'll see I got a bunch of different types of jerk minnows. These are big bite jerk minnows. I've been throwing a Zoom Super Fluke, Caffeine Shad, Strike King. I've been throwing all different brands, and it doesn't really seem to matter which one I'm throwing, whether I'm throwing the 4-inch or the 5-inch. When you get in the right area, I mean, you can catch the heck out of them. It's a lot of fun. And I'm throwing on a spinning rod with a 15-pound braided line, a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader with a 4-rod hook. Just kind of letting the bait sink a little bit and twitch, and all of a sudden you'll either feel it or you'll see your line take off. But it's a good deal to throw where the slime is real bad. Just depends how you like to fish. On the Ned rigs, day in and day out, that Strike King Zero worm is really hard to beat. I'm throwing it on a 5-fish ultimate Ned jig head. It's got a little weed guard, wire weed guard, but it does an awesome job coming through the rocks and the wood. And I'm using 1/8 ounce and 3/16, kind of mixing it up. And you can use, there's a lot of crawdad style Ned baits as well. This is a little big bite sensation. And usually what it does, it comes like this. I've never really fished it like this on a shaky head. I usually pinch them off and you either use it for a Ned rig or I use it for a jig trailer. It's got I don't know what kind of scent it's got in it, but the fish really seem to hold on good. But I actually caught some fish the last couple of days on a topwater on like a Zara Spook type bait, cigar type bait, and I think they'll also bite like a Berkeley surge shad or the old redfin. Is just, especially over the tops of them where them fish are bedding. It's a good place to throw. That's where I've been throwing that top water. Or once in a while, I'll see some big schools of shad out behind me a little bit in the centers of the creeks, and I'll either pick up that little swim bait or a top water. I think we're going to get some clouds and stuff this weekend. It may really turn them, top water fish on. But there's just so many different ways to catch fish, and you can keep moving. If you're not getting bit in one area, pick up, go to the next creek or the next pocket. A lot of little pockets off the main lake. Some of them aren't very big, but there's fish in those pockets as well, and it doesn't take very long to check them out. Just buzz in there, throw either a Cinco or a fluke, Ned rig, shaky head, little jig. And, I even caught some fish on a jerkbait today out of some cedar trees. So, like I say, the fish, there's some spawning, there's a lot more left to come in, and there's a few that are done spawning. So, I think, when that water warms up a little bit more in the next week or so, them shad are going to start to spawn. When that water reaches about 70 degrees, we'll have a big shad spawn. And that's when the topwater bite ought to really get good, really kick up. But the lake's going to be real busy this weekend. There's the KVD Oakley Big Bass Tournament. I think it's 3 days. It'll have, I don't know how many boats, probably got 300-400 boats in it. And I know I'm fishing a BFL Saturday that I know will have 220 boats. And then with the nice weather, so it's going to be busy out there. Just be safe, and till next week, good luck, good fishing.